Good morning, friends. Cowboy Nation, Cowboy family. This is Cowboy Legends for Life. I'm a little sleepy here. Got up pretty early. But I got some things in my mind. Of course, concerning the Dallas Cowboys, you know. And I say, if you guys like what I say and respect and trust what I say, then subscribe, comment, and like to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. I know that can be a little tough sometimes, but I'll always tell you the truth. That's a promise, and I'll always back up that truth with stats and facts and numbers, and nothing else. And let me just say this: that you gotta excuse my camera the way it looks right now. It looks like I'm real close, but here's the thing: is that I'm not using my phone anymore. I'm going to just use my tab because my tab's got a lot of space, and I don't like using my phone when I'm getting phone calls in and have to do some other things. And so my tab I barely use anymore. This past year, so I'm gonna do all my videos and uploads and stuff with this. So if I look real too close, just, with my big mug, sorry about that. But bear with me. All right. So anyway, I just want to talk about this fact that the Cowboys got no primary number one wide receiver. We all been talking about it for weeks now, right? And so I'm gonna weigh in a little bit. And that is, yes, that's absolutely true. And you know what I said before? I wrote in, texting, because sometimes I go to the other people's channels and I give my comment a lot. And so and some of them like it, some don't, and I don't care. I'm gonna give you an opinion that I think is best for what I feel. And I feel that the Cowboys, especially Dak Prescott, do not need a primary number one wide receiver like they did with Dez Bryant. They do not. In fact, Dak was at his best when he was spreading the ball, not worrying about who's going to get, how many targets someone needs a day to feel like a man or feel good about himself. Okay, and that was Dez. Dez was a diva. The man was a diva, and if he wasn't a full diva, he was on his damn way, and that's a fact. Okay. Now I will tell you that people were saying wide receiver by committee. I have a different take on it. I think I said it before, but I want to repeat it. Is that it should be completion by committee. What I mean by that is this: Dak goes out there, he reads his progressions, and he's checking down everything, and he's looking downfield, across field, and see who's open, right? He throws to the open man. That's what he does best, all right? And if he hits a receiver 5 times, and that receiver makes 5 receptions, and he completes 5 receptions, one receiver with 7 completions with one receiver, and whatever else receiver got for that day. I say that this: if that receiver who holds on to the ball when he hits him, all right, that day, and he has the most receptions, I say completions by committee. Then the next game, especially if they win the game, next game, he should keep in mind and keep mental notes that this receiver did well last week. I want to try to keep my focus on him and let him be the number one target for that week. You understand? And so when that receiver, he does that, focus on that, and gets open, because all these receivers look like they can get open. They look real dangerous, real fast. That's the one thing the Cowboys needed for so many years. They never had any speed, not even with Dez Bryant. Okay, because he had some speed, but he didn't have any breakaway speed. All right. So, but we got numerous people with breakaway speed now, and so if he does that, and the next week he favors the guy who received the most, who received the most catches last week, then he can focus on that, and then whoever does well that week, the same one. That's how you find your number one wide receiver, who does the most clutch catches, especially in the 20-yard zone, in the red zone. Okay, that's who you focus on, especially in that. And I guarantee you that if he takes that mental note and he does that step, that it's completion by committee, not just wide receiver by committee, who's open, but completion, because he's going to throw to who's open, and those who have the winning of the game have the most receptions. Okay, he's gonna make a mental note for next week that this is the guy, this person did well. I'm going to see if he's open first, and if not, then I'll keep reading my progressions through and see who's open. Maybe I'm no quarterback coach, but that's what I would focus on, because if Des Bryant was doing any good the way he's supposed to as a team, as a wide receiver for the Cowboys, and then I'm supposed to primary throw most of the targets for him, then I'm doing that anyway. You understand? I'm doing it. He's the number one primary, then I'm doing that anyway. And then I'm not getting any success, so I look for someone else. So it's now that Des is gone, that's exactly how you try to find your number one wide receiver. That's just my opinion. So I hope that maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe some sort of progression that teaches him that this one's open all the time. This one catches the most passes last week. I'm going to focus on him this week and see what he does. And then if during the game, if someone else gets a high number in terms of receptions, then you focus on that person who do it that week. And next week you keep your focus on them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he should read that where he can learn his players even more better on the field. Who's gonna be counted on to catch the ball? Not drop the ball all the time and stuff. And plus, the biggest thing the best thing you do when you want to know who's the best out there, who's gonna really move the Cowboys for you, is in practice. You have to practice your ass off out there and do all the things that need to be done. Now, that's one thing. Des Bryant showed some good practices sometimes, but if he didn't always was there. He wasn't always at the meetings, and he was so immature. It was like I saw some All or Nothing, and he was as if he had to be the big dog. He had to shit on a defender to make himself feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like he was angry or something. So that's no good. I mean, I know competition is great, but when you're a straight up asshole, that's not competition. That's just being an asshole. All right, and that's what sometimes it is. Well, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't care for Des Bryant. I just didn't. I know a lot of people missing. They think they're telling him to be cool, or you'll get a job if you keep cool and stop talking so much and all this stuff. And I understand that. I really do. But to me, I didn't like the guy. Okay, because I knew for a fact what I saw in 2016 when Dak came in here. And this guy, you could tell he was full. He was hiding something. He was full of shit. I think he was being phony. And I think that he was I know for a fact he wanted Romo back in the lineup. He wanted Romo back in there because he wanted those balls. He wanted that attention, like he needed it. So, but winning is more important. Winning is more important. I mean, Michael Irvin, they say he was like a rah-rah man, and he was like vocal on the sideline. Oh, absolutely, he was. Michael Irvin was a beast, okay? And the reason why they called him the playmaker as a wide receiver, because the action didn't happen until after he caught the ball. That's why they called him the playmaker. He was actually the original playmaker, right? And so, but the thing is that if he didn't get a catch that day and they won, Michael was as happy as anything. Okay, he was just as happy as he was if he caught 10 catches for 200 yards. That was Michael Irvin. Okay, but somebody like that, when you're winning in a game and you're pissing off and you're pissing at the sideline, or pissing on all your coaches and everything and all your players, I want the ball. You got to go someplace else with that, man. They had to get rid of him. But that aside, I want to also tell you guys, you got to pay attention to stats sometimes. A lot of people, they talk emotion. A lot of our fan base, they talk nothing but emotion. They don't talk fact. They don't back up nothing. They say things like, what player ain't shit or who ain't shit. This one's good, that one's good because he looks good when he caught the ball. Or he came down on a 50-50 ball. That's nothing. You got to pay attention to what is the bottom line here as for a receiver. Because we're talking about receivers this morning, right? At this video today. Is that most important thing is the catch rate. I'm gonna repeat it to you again, okay? Read through the stats, and everybody talks about the YAC, yards after catch. That's cool. Yeah, that's yards after catch is fine, and all that stuff, and what he did, but how many catches he did. Don't pay attention to all the catches. You don't do that. If Des Bryant had just caught 69 passes last year, and he had 80 targets, he would, you know what I'm saying? I would say, fuck what you didn't let him go for. I would say that. But Des Bryant's catch rate is one of the worst catch rates among so-called top receivers in the NFL, and always have been for years. Okay, and so It was when he was first came in. It was pretty good. It was in the low 60s, and that's pretty decent. Low 60s is good. It's like, okay, but when you dipping down past the 60s, okay, then we got a problem. You got issues, and he was doing that before Dak Prescott got there. So y'all talking that shit about Dak was the one them out of here, and Dak was the one who made him look bad and all. The bullshit. He in 2015. He had his catch rate was 43%, 43.1 to be exact. Dez Bryant's catch rate was 43.1. That is pathetic. That is not good. You know what I'm saying? 50 is bad. 50 is real bad. And 43.1 is even worse. And now you can sit there and say, well, Romo was gone those days and he was hurt. You know, like I said, don't pay attention to how many catches. Don't pay attention to how many targets. Pay attention to the percentage between the targets and the catches and the receptions. Okay? How many catches did you get out of 10? You know what I'm saying? If you got 7, that's 70%. I want you to imagine that. If I threw you 10 passes a game for 15 years, okay, and you caught over 70% of the time, seven catches out of 10 each game, you'd be in the Hall of Fame, under the Hall of Fame, over the Hall of Fame, built inside the Hall of Fame, okay? Because there's very, very tiny, but a few people who ever got that type of a high catch rate tells you that they're that consistent. And that was Jason Witten. Jason Witten retired with a 71% catch rate. Imagine that. I threw to him 10 times, and 77 times he caught the ball each time. Not Dez, 50% or less. 5 catches out of 10. That means he had a lot of drops. You could sit and say, well, targets. You just don't know anything the hell you're talking about. See, and everybody gonna sit there and say, and people told me, well, you know, Dez had a 43.1 catch rate in 2015. Before Dak got there, and Romo was hurt all those weeks and stuff. Yeah, you can see that. But and those other 3 quarterbacks wasn't shit. But listen, 2015, Jason Witten's catch rate was 74%. That's like 2% over his normal rate, more than 2%. 74% was his catch rate in 2015, but Dez Bryant was 43.1. You understand? People look at that. People, we can argue amongst ourselves in terms of the fan base, okay? But those coaches on every freaking team looks at that. They pay attention to that. You may think looking at a 50-50 ball is pretty. Oh, give him a job. Oh, this is beautiful. He caught a ball once. And amongst 2 receivers, 2 defenders on him. No. They're looking at his catch rate. How many times he catches that damn ball as opposed to the targets thrown to him and the receptions he makes and the catches he makes. You better pay attention to stats, bro. That's why it's so important to me. That's why I when I debate some of these people, even though how harsh I get sometimes, I don't back down because the numbers back me up. And you see when they do their response, it's never anything with stats. It's always just emotion. You understand? Never with stats. Okay, when they do with stats, I just break it down. Tell them this is what it is. That's all. So that's my opinion on that. I think that's what Dak Prescott should do. I think that's what the receivers that we have right now. Lord, as long as they got speed and they can catch with their hands, you know. And one more thing, I don't know what's going to happen with T. Will, but I hope good. I hope that he can learn from this. You know. But I'm still shocked that, like I said last week, how did he break his foot? He wasn't even in doing anything. How did you break your foot, man? You know, is he an irresponsible person like that? You may not want him on your team, but you know what? He's still the most senior receiver we have. That's my opinion anyway. All right, thank you.